this is Rosa Kelly, and today I'm going to be working on a tutorial that I was requested to do for an explosion box. The explosion box I created using the tutorial from Rena Myers. So I will basically be doing the base the same way she did it, but I will be showing you step by step how I did all my layouts. So this is going to be probably I don't know, 2 or 3 videos depending on the time that I have on the memory on my phone. I have to put it in parts. And yeah, so for this explosion box, I used the Teresa Collins Baby Chic combined with some other papers that I had that matched that collection. This new box that I'm gonna be making, an emoji theme, but of course you can do any theme that you want. So to begin, we're gonna need 12 by 12 papers. We're probably gonna need about 6 of them, and then I'm gonna use one heavyweight cardstock for the cover of the box. I like these to be more sturdy, to be able to hold really good. This is coming out. Okay, and then I'm gonna use just regular 65-pound weight 8.5 by 11 cardstock for my layouts. All right, so and of course I'm gonna need some kind of glue, double-sided tape, and the paper of your choice. So I'm gonna start by cutting my 12 by 12 papers into 12 by 6. So I'm gonna cut it right at 6. My box is gonna be a 6 by 6 box, so I'm gonna need 4 12 by 6 pieces of paper, and I'm going to score those at half. So each 12 by 6 I'm going to score at 6. Oh, where's my... Okay, so I found it. So I'm gonna score at 6, and I'm gonna do the same for all 4 sheets. And I do want to apologize in advance for all the background noise. It's Sunday here today, and my kids are playing video games with daddy, so they are super loud. This is why I'm not in my craft room right now. I'm actually in the living room because the video game they're playing is right next to my craft room, and they are super loud. Okay, so once I have my 4 shapes, I'm going to put them together like this. So I'm just gonna add some glue, and I just use tacky glue. I use the ones from Recollections. I really like how it really holds. It's really strong. Hold on. So I'm just gonna add a gently amount of glue, and then I'm gonna place my second layer right on top. And then I'm gonna do the same with the other 2. Okay, so after I do that, I'm gonna fold my sides and make a crease with my bone folder. Oops. So get all the excess glue out. I always keep a towel next to me because I do use a lot of glue, and I have to constantly wipe it out. So I have the base. This is the base of the box right here. So you're just gonna fold your insides and give it a good crease right here. And there you go. So this is the base number 1. Now for I'm gonna start on the cover of the box. For that, I'm gonna use a piece of heavyweight cardstock, and you can use the regular cardstock as well, but I like using heavyweight for this. And I'm gonna cut these at 8 I don't know if I can zoom in right here, but I'm gonna cut it the next 8 after the number 8. So right that little mark, that's what I'm gonna cut my paper at. And because when I fold this, I don't want it to be exactly at 6 by 6. I want to give it a little bit of room for the box to sit on top of my layout. So it will just make it easier to close. All right, so then after I do that, so I have an 8 and 1/8 by 8 and 1/8 piece, if that makes any sense. And then I'm just gonna score 1 inch at each side. So 1, 1, oops, 1 and 1. Okay, so now I have my score pieces, and then I'm gonna grab my scissors and I'm gonna cut like this. You don't want to cut it diagonal, okay? You want to cut it straight along the score mark. So the next one I'm gonna cut like this, and next one I'll cut right here, and the next one right there. Okay, so now I'm gonna fold these. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this remaining piece I'm gonna fold in, and then this is the part that I'm gonna glue into the other side to form the box. So I'm just gonna add a little glue, and I'm gonna hold this and let it dry. And the same on this other side. I'm gonna add a little glue to this little flap and just hold for a little bit. And I'm gonna do the same to the other 2 sides. Okay, so I am done making the cover of our box. And so once you are all completed, you know that will just be like this, and it will fit perfect. It's kind of flimsy right now. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the base for the 5 by 5 box that we'll do inside. So for the 5 by 5, we are going to cut a 12 by 12 into a 5 by 10. So first I'm gonna cut a 10. And then I'm gonna cut this at 5 and at 5. And I'm gonna need 2 more. So I have 4 5 by 10 pieces. And I'm gonna do the same I did for the 6 by 6 box. So I'm gonna score at 5 all 4 pieces. Okay, so they're all scored, and I'm going to glue and join them together. Now make sure when you layer these, you don't put it on top of your score mark. Okay, give it a little bit of room so you see your score mark, and then you put it right next to it, not on top of it. Otherwise your box is not going to bend. Okay, so now let's do the sides. One right there, and lastly, oops, the other side. Okay, and I'm just gonna let this dry, and then I'm going to just fold and crease my sides to give it the shape like that. So now we have the 5x5 base for a box that will sit on top. Now we are gonna do the pages first before we place this on top, so don't put them together just yet. And then for the 4x4, we're just gonna grab a 12x12 piece, and we are going to score along 4 and 8, and then you're gonna turn it to the other side, and again you're gonna score at 4, and you're gonna score at 8. Okay, and you want to cut out, you're gonna cut off the squares in the corner. So I'm just gonna do this with my scissors. You could use your paper cutter, but I think this is just a faster way for me to do it. Okay, so like that, and you're gonna do the same all 4 corners. Okay, now you have this shape like a cross, and this is gonna be the base for our 4x4 layouts. Okay, so you're just gonna fold it and give it a good crease again, and there you go. So now that we have our base for our box, let's get into our layouts. So I'm going to start with the layouts for the 6x6 box, and I'm gonna grab a 12x12 paper and cut it at 6 again. So I have 2 6x12s, and then I'm going to score these. So I'm gonna grab my 6x12 and score at 3 and score at 9. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same with the other one. I'm doing my layouts to be mirror of each other. So for all 4 sides, 2 are gonna be identical. So let's see what I mean. So then for these ones, I'm going to bend along my score line, both sides like this. Okay, and on the back of these, so along my flaps, I'm going to put double-sided tape along the sides. So one right here and one right there. Okay, just like that. Maybe one at the bottom. Just like so. And then I'm gonna grab my 6x6 base. Okay, so I have these. And one important thing I forgot to tell you, we're gonna trim just a little bit along the bottom, like 1/8 of an inch. Okay, and the reason why, I'll tell you, is so when we place these here, it's not touching. You have a little bit of room here to fold, otherwise it's not going to fold. Okay, so I'm gonna tape this on this side, and then I'm gonna do the same for this side right here. Okay, so I'm back into my craft room. All right, so we added this side and we added that side as well. So here, the way we added, we created a pocket. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna punch out a hole, but before I do that, I'm gonna cover this side with paper. So I'm just gonna pencil mark and cut my my designer paper, and after I do that, after I glue it on, I'm gonna grab my any circle punch and punch a hole right here. So I have my piece of paper, and I'm just gonna ink. I really don't like to see that white edge after you cut the paper, especially if you're using black paper, black cardstock base. And I just use my glue. You can use your double-sided tape if you want. Glue to me is so much faster, and it just as good. So I'm just gonna place it right there. Okay, and then after, let it dry for a second. Then I'm gonna grab, like I said, my paper punch, circle one, and I'm just gonna open these a little bit and try to center it. Oh, there you go. So that's all I want. Just like so. And of course, I'm just gonna work on this side, and then you just imitate the same to the other side. Now on this, on my example, I have another little opening right there. So I'm just gonna grab a piece of paper. Sorry. Okay. Oh, I should have passed it, but anyway. So I'm just gonna grab another piece of paper, and I'm gonna cut it I'm just gonna do a 4x4 little booklet. So I'm gonna cut it at 4x8, like so, and I'm gonna score half the back right there. So then I'm gonna fold it in half, and you can score it, but I'm just gonna do this, just half. And I'm gonna place this right here. So before I glue this, I'm gonna glue it on one side. Before I do that, I'm gonna cover this paper, one of the sides, so I can glue this on. Okay, so I cut one of my design pages, and I'm just gonna add it to one side. Okay, clean the glue, and then I'm gonna grab the other little 4x4 booklet that I just made, and I'm just gonna glue half. I'm just gonna place half of it in this side, on this side. Okay, and then before I cover this with paper, I'm gonna add my magnets, and I know I have them here. Okay, so here they are. So I'm gonna grab a little magnets. I'm actually gonna use 3. So first, make sure I'm in frame. Okay, so I'm gonna put one right there. So this is how I add my magnets. I place one, and then I just throw the other one on top, and I place a double-sided tape facing up, and then I close this so the magnet sticks on that side, like so. Oops. just like that. And then I'm gonna need another magnet right here for this flap. So again, I throw the magnet in there and I place it with the double-sided tape facing up, and I close it as well. So you're using 3 magnets for this part. So then you will have an opening here, and then you close it, and then you have this big opening. And next we're just gonna cover these papers. I'm gonna do that off camera, and then you're gonna do exactly the same for this other side. Okay, so when you do this side, you make sure if this one opens this way, you want to make this one open to the opposite, just to make it mirror. And okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm done with these 2 sides, and I do want to say I haven't put any paper in here yet, or in here. And the reason why is I only have 2 paper pads, and I think it will be enough, but just in case, if I have to complement with another kind of paper, I would rather do it in the inside flaps than on the outside. So I'm gonna wait on those. And so right now, before we do these other 2 layouts, I went ahead and cut 4 pieces of 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, and these are gonna be our outside pages. And I want to do this before this gets too bulky. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue my pieces, and make sure your orientation, it's gonna be up by the time, you know, like if we're gonna put this on this, flip it on the other side, and I need to make sure my orientation, it's gonna be up. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue these, go ahead and glue your outside covers on. Alright, so I have glued all my outside pieces, and so now they are, when you close the box, you'll see that they're gonna be facing up. And then I'm gonna, because my daughter already selected her paper, I'm gonna use, I'm gonna cover the top of the box. You want to select your papers for the outside ahead of time, otherwise you don't get to the end of your project and you realize you don't have a pretty piece to put on the outside. So that's why I always select my covers, my cover papers first. Okay, so she wanted this unicorn on the top, and I think it's really pretty too with the color that she wanted for the sides. And so yeah, so then you also might find another piece to cover the inside of your top cover. And I think she wanted like a big emoji face. I should put the poop face. Okay, so I think the poop, she said, okay, I'm sorry. This is what is more time consuming for me, other than, you know, the construction happens really fairly fast, but then deciding which papers to use takes me the most. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this piece and just glue it in the inside. Okay, so I cover the cover of my box, both sides, and I'm gonna leave this aside for now. And now we can concentrate on doing the layouts for these 2 sides. So as I have on my other box, I'm gonna move these for right now. So I'm gonna grab another piece of cardstock, and this is gonna be the normal. We don't need any more of that 100-pound weight. Just the same, the regular one is fine. So I'm gonna cut this at 4. I'm gonna cut this at 4 by 6 3/4. Okay, so I'm gonna need 2 pieces of that. So again, 4 by 6 3/4. And I'm going to score 1/2 inch on each side. And because this paper is thinner than your 100-pound, when you do your score, you don't want to press too hard because you don't want to break your paper. Okay, so one more, and these are going to be kind of like a belly band, and we're going to put a waterfall on top. So then we're going to crease these sides. I'm going to leave this one aside, and I'm going to work on one, and then you will do the same for the other one, right? So that's going to be the base for the waterfall, and then I'm going to need 4 pieces of 4 by 4.5. Let me see. 4, yes. 4. I'm sorry, I was counting the other one. So I'm gonna cut these at 4.5, and I'm gonna cut it the other way by 4. Okay, so 4.5 by 4. This is 1. 4.5 by 4. This is 2. And then I'm gonna cut this again at 4.5 by 4. 3. And one more. Okay. And then these pieces I will score at the 4.5 side. Let's see. Okay, so in this direction, the 4.5 side is right here, so I'm gonna score half of on this side, and I'm gonna do the same for all 4. 3 and 4. Okay, so and then all I'm gonna do to each one of these is just fold and crease and add your double-sided tape like that. Okay, so I'll do the same on all 4 of them. Alright, so I have all 4 pieces with double-sided tape, and then I'm just gonna start putting my waterfall together, and I'm just gonna show you one right here. So I peel my tape just a little bit, and then I make sure it's even on the corner, and then I press on the part that doesn't have the tape and just pull that. And now we'll do the same on the other one. Just take out a little bit first, so that way you can center, and then you press that corner in and pull it, and it's just I think that's the easiest way. If you take all your tape out, then it's hard to center it because it keeps sticking to the paper. So see how I just center this part, and then I press and pull. And the last one, same deal. This one got glue in here. Okay, and just like that. Okay, so you're aligning it to that paper. So there's your little waterfall, and then you're gonna grab one of your scrap pieces, and we're gonna use this as the part that will hold the magnet. So let me just score these are just a 1 inch right there, and I'm probably gonna cut these at, let's see, I'm gonna cut it at 4. Okay, so you score 1, and you're gonna cut at this mark. Oops, sorry, I just hit the tripod. Okay, so then I'll cut it right at my score mark that I did at 4, and I'm I'm just gonna fold on my waterfall, pull that up. I'm gonna add some glue. Okay, and just make sure it's center. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Slightly tilted. Okay, so and then we pull that up. We're gonna cover this with paper, and then you're gonna close your waterfall and add your magnet the same way we did before. Whoop. My magnets are so strong. It came back rolling. Okay, I'm gonna put it far away. Okay, so you just put it where you want it. And I never put it so close to the edge, that way when I place my paper, the magnet's not showing. Okay, and then just throw it in there. And that's just the way I do it. I mean, you can always just use your glue, but to me this is faster than waiting for the glue to dry. And then there you go. So this piece, this is your waterfall. You are going to do the same with the other piece that we cut. And I'm going to do that off the camera. But I do want to show you how to add that piece right here. So here's our box. And so now I'm just going to add some double-sided tape to my flaps. So one right here, and one right here. Okay, so take that out, and we'll take just a little bit of this out. And I'm just gonna make sure it's aligned to the edge, and just take this out, and then this should just be in place already. So here you go, and then it will close fine because we have a little bit of space right here. If you do it all the way against your score line, it's not going to close. So here we go. So like I said, you're gonna do the same for this other side. And now that we already have the magnet, just pick your designer paper and cover it. And then you're gonna pick another piece of designer paper and place it behind here. So this is gonna be like a little belly band pocket. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish the other side. And I think I'm gonna end here for part 1, and I'm gonna edit this video and post it, and then I'll be back on part 2 next time. Okay? Thank you for watching.